Put your seat in its upright and locked position, fasten your safety belt, and hold on, because the Baldy and the Blonde Show is about to launch. Broadcasting live from the Booth of Truth in the WGSO studio in the heart of New Orleans, your hosts for an hour of power, Tom Coates and Michelle Godin.
Oh, Shelly, the UN is in our schools. It's not good, so don't be fooled by Agenda 21.
Agenda 21, what are you, some kind of a conspiracy theorist?
I have my tinfoil hat on, as I do every week. Special live here at Baldy and the Blonde. Radical radio, folks, because these are radical times. Indeed. Every week, reporting the tyranny of the week. So much tyranny, so little time.
What could be so tyrannical about a lovely sounding little thing called Agenda 21? It's so harmless sounding.
Doesn't it sound harmless? The UN always likes to wrap these nice tyrannical packages up in, well, just like the Patriot Act.
Yeah.
Because it's so patriotic to lock Americans up without trials. It's always good. The National Defense Authorization Act just sounds like a spending bill.
Yeah, sure.
But throw hoods over our heads, drag us out to the cars, no charge, no lawyers. You ain't getting a lawyer, said Senator Lindsey Graham. But today, we're not just going to whine today. Today, we have some ladies with us who have done something about some of the problems we're facing and something we've barely talked about on this show, shockingly, because we really do make it a point to stay up on all the intrusions into our constitutional rights here on Baldy and the Blonde, where you can listen every Wednesday from 5 to 6. And today, we have with us Karen Champagne and Angela Alef, who will tell you what they found out about the UN's Agenda 21, cap and trade, immunizations of children, and what they did as two regular folks like all of us, just out in the world trying to make a living, what they did when they found out about these things, and how you can be inspired by their story to do something as well. So which one of you ladies wants to talk first? Karen?
That's fine.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about what's the name. Do you all have a group?
Yes, we actually did form a group. We call ourselves the People LLC, and it was actually formed out of necessity. We met with the Tea Party groups, and we started to do a lot of research, and through our research, we decided that we needed to take a look at what was happening in the state. So we decided to start, Angela and Karen go to Baton Rouge.
Kind of like Laverne and Shirley.
Laverne and Shirley goes to the Capitol, darling.
Yeah,
very
it
much
really
so.
is. So we thought, and I don't know why we thought this, that if we just walked up to one of our state congressmen and just, wanted to talk to him, that they would just talk to us.
Sure, because they do work for you. So
Yeah, they represent us, of course.
Right. Well, what we found out is that we are not being represented. In fact, just about every one of them asked us, so who are you with? And we're like, well, gee, we're not with anybody. We're just citizens. And that didn't seem to be getting us anywhere. So we decided we needed to form an LLC. And so we decided we'll call ourselves the People LLC.
And it plays real well when we go to committee. Less well now because they're used to it. But at first it was priceless to be able to say, I'm Angela Alef in front of the committee and Karen Champagne, and we're here to represent the people.
LLC.
Because obviously somebody needs to, which we didn't say, but we sure thought very loudly.
I like that. So have you all had any success? Well, you know what? Let's step back just for a second and say, what has been the main focus in the Louisiana legislature for you all and your group? And maybe I sort of summed it up and said Agenda 21, cap and trade, and immunizations of children, all topics, especially forced immunizations and how bad they are for kids. We've covered that a lot on this show. And cap and trade we talk about all the time, which, by the way, Romneyites out there, he is for it. Came out again this week and last week saying he is for it. So, once again,
just
like
to make money from it.
No doubt. So those are the focus of your attention, those issues?
Well, last session, what we decided was that if we focused on public-private partnership, we could visit any committee and we could speak on any bill at any given moment with very little prep time. All we'd have to do was look at the bill, go, oh, there it is again, and speak about how it's unconstitutional.
What is unconstitutional?
The public-private partnerships.
Ah, okay. So, and are you talking now about something with regard to cap and trade?
It applies across the board.
All right. So anytime you see a government in bed with a private entity, it's unconstitutional.
Absolutely.
And that's what they're doing. They're actually removing us, I guess, further and further away. They're delegating stakeholders. And I don't know if y'all have heard that term used, but they form committees and boards and appoint people from who they consider to be interested parties who will be affected by certain bills, and they're the stakeholders. And that's who has a say in what types of regulations will be passed and things like that. What kind of, I guess, legislation will actually ultimately be written, but a lot of it is also done now through regulation as well.
Well, yeah, and it's like that from the federal government on down.
Exactly.
They just pass bills like Obamacare and say, we're going to pass this bill, 2,000 pages, nobody read it. And by the way, Catherine Sebelius, the head of DHHS, is in charge of writing the regulations.
Right.
And that's what's happening on the state level,
Oh,
too.
definitely.
It is.
But wait,
It is.
you said that they look and see who will be the affected parties, and those people will then have a
They're
say?
invited. Yeah, they're invited to be on a board or a commission whenever they have an idea or a crisis. Like, let's just take the child care crisis that we are currently in, or education crisis.
Well,
we
a lot of
always
these
need
are-
a commission or a board.
Yeah.
And so now you'll have certain nonprofits that will be named on this list. If you ever look at the list, once they form these committees or boards, there's always a list of who's going to be on it. And so they'll list maybe a member of a certain nonprofit or a head of a certain government agency that'll have to be represented on this board. And then they'll discuss the issue, which is maybe education. And so what do we need to do about this issue? And they'll come up with the recommendations, and a lot of that's already pre-planned recommendations, and then recommend legislation that needs to be written. But we've actually found it across every issue. It's education, it's child care, it's
Agriculture.
the environment, right, coastal restoration. There's a committee that's formed nowadays. I mean, that's the way it's done. You form a committee, you talk to the experts because, gosh darn it, we don't know enough.
Yeah, committees and experts. It seems to be
Right.
going
It's just-
great.
it's going super.
It's going awesome up in Baton Rouge.
Right, you pay a consultant, consulting fees, and you get the expert opinion. And what it really is the special interest groups are coming in now with model legislation, and the bills are already written.
And so basically, it's just another way to dilute the power of the people.
Exactly.
And when you have representatives who don't give you the time of day unless you're with one of these
and divert
groups,
funds. It just
Yeah.
diverts our tax dollars now to special interest groups.
We like to say that we're under an administrative state Politburo type situation. And good example, we spoke in front of the Education Committee a couple of weeks ago, and we presented information from 3 years of research, which, don't call me an expert, I get that part, but it was very factual enough that the department decided they needed to get their legal team on it pronto.
good for you.
Well-
Basically, you embarrassed them, it sounds like.
I didn't try to. I was very
No.
appropriate, and just really detailed it. And what we were told afterward was by one of the legislators was, well, what do you want us to do with this? You're not an expert. I mean, we have to take the word of the department. Of course, what we want to know is, then why are we having these committee meetings? If new information, we don't have time to look at new information. We don't have time to research. Then why are we even having the meetings?
All right,
I guess
Angela,
just
can-
to pass everything and shove it down our throat. That's the whole reason they're going to meet.
Exactly.
Can you give us a specific instance of something that is really bad that's getting shoved up, getting passed along against the will of most people, and it's being done in this Politburo manner?
Yeah, well, the immunization would be a good example. And
Okay.
it took us many months to get this Attorney General's opinion on the immunization. And what it was, I had a visit from a health department. I have a school, and so public health came to see me, and they wanted to know why I wasn't in their computerized system with all the immunization
and
records.
wait, we're going to leave you there and find out what the big bad government man had to say about it. We have a shot for you outside, Miss Angela. If you'd like, step outside. So that's going on all over the country. A move to immunize your children when, if you've listened to this show, you know there's a lot of mercury and good stuff for children in there. And that might be why we have such an autism problem. This is Baldy. And the Blonde will be back after the break.
And that's why